Did you ever witness a downfall so complete, so utter, that it left you breathless? Have you ever seen the mighty brought so low, their carefully constructed empires crumbling to dust? Prepare yourself, because this is a story of manipulation, of control, and of the sweet, sweet taste of justice. Once upon a time, in a realm not so different from our own, lived a pride of lions. Not just any lions, mind you, but a family steeped in arrogance and a thirst for power. The patriarch Scar was a lion of cunning and cruelty. He ruled with an iron paw, demanding absolute obedience from his pride. His methods were simple: instill fear, exploit weakness, and crush any hint of rebellion. Scar had two cubs, Leo and Lyra, who he molded in his own image. Leo, the elder, possessed his father's ruthlessness but lacked his strategic mind. Lyra, on the other hand, was sharp, calculating, and even more ambitious than Scar himself. Their target, a gentle giraffe named Ginny. Ginny was kind, compassionate, and always willing to help others. She was everything the lions despised: honest, vulnerable, and trusting. Scar saw Ginny as the perfect pawn in his game of power. He believed he could manipulate her into doing his bidding, solidifying his control over the entire savannah. The lions began their insidious campaign slowly, subtly. They showered Ginny with false compliments, praising her kindness and generosity. They feigned friendship, offering her protection from the dangers of the savannah. Ginny, naive and trusting, welcomed their attention. She believed she had finally found acceptance in a world that often felt harsh and unforgiving. Leo and Lyra played their roles perfectly. Leo acted as the charming protector, always ready to defend Ginny from perceived threats. Lyra posed as the sympathetic confidant, listening patiently to Ginny's worries and offering hollow words of comfort. Scar, meanwhile, remained in the shadows, pulling the strings and orchestrating their every move. Their plan was simple: isolate Ginny from her friends and family, gain her complete trust, and then exploit her for their own gain. They started by spreading rumors about Ginny's closest companions. They whispered lies about their loyalty, their intentions, and their supposed betrayals. Ginny, already insecure and vulnerable, began to doubt her friends. She distanced herself from them, seeking solace in the company of the lions. With her friends gone, the lions tightened their grip. They began to control Ginny's every move, dictating who she could talk to, where she could go, and what she could do. Ginny, trapped in their web of deceit, felt increasingly isolated and helpless. She started to realize that something was terribly wrong. The lions' compliments felt hollow, their protection suffocating, and their friendship conditional. But by then, it was too late. She was completely under their control. Scar finally revealed his true intentions. He demanded that Ginny use her influence to persuade the other animals to give the lions preferential treatment. He wanted her to convince them to share their food, their water, and their land. Ginny, horrified by his request, refused. She realized that she had been a fool to trust them. She had allowed herself to be manipulated and exploited. Scar, enraged by her defiance, threatened her. He reminded her of all the things he had done for her, all the sacrifices he had made. He claimed that she owed him her loyalty and obedience. Ginny, however, stood her ground. She refused to be a pawn in his game any longer. She declared that she would not betray her friends and family. Scar, furious, unleashed Leo and Lyra upon her. They mocked her, ridiculed her, and tried to break her spirit. They reminded her of her past insecurities, her past failures, and her past vulnerabilities. They told her that she was worthless, that she was nothing without them. But Ginny, despite her fear, refused to give in. She had finally realized her own worth. She had finally understood that she was stronger than she thought. She looked Leo and Lyra in the eye and told them that she would not be intimidated. She would not be controlled. She would not be silenced. Her defiance shocked the lions. They had never expected her to resist. They had underestimated her strength, her courage, and her resilience. Ginny, emboldened by her newfound confidence, decided to fight back. She knew that she couldn't defeat the lions on her own, but she also knew that she wasn't alone. She reached out to her old friends, the ones she had abandoned under the lions' influence. She apologized for her behavior and explained what had happened. To her surprise, her friends forgave her. They had suspected that something was wrong all along. They had seen the lions' manipulation for what it was. Together, Ginny and her friends devised a plan to expose the lions' treachery. They gathered evidence of their lies, their manipulation, and their cruelty. They documented their abuse of power, their exploitation of the weak, and their disregard for the well. Being of the savannah, they presented their evidence to the other animals, revealing the lion's true nature. The animals were shocked and outraged. They had trusted the lions to protect them, to lead them, and to act in their best interests. But instead, the lions had betrayed their trust. They had used their power to manipulate, control, and exploit them. The animals turned against the lions. They demanded that Scar step down as leader. They demanded that Leo and Lyra be held accountable for their actions. Scar, realizing that he had lost control, tried to salvage the situation. The accusations, claiming that they were all lies. He tried to manipulate the animals, appealing to their fears and their insecurities. But it was too late. The animals had seen through his lies. They had witnessed his cruelty firsthand. They were no longer willing to be manipulated. Scar, stripped of his power and his authority, was left alone and humiliated. Leo and Lyra, abandoned by their father and rejected by the community, were forced to face the consequences of their actions. They were ostracized and shunned. They were forced to live in the shadows, haunted by their past deeds. Ginny, on the other hand, emerged as a hero. She had stood up to the lions, exposed their treachery, and liberated the savannah from their control. She had proven that even the most vulnerable individuals can find strength and courage within themselves. She had shown that even the most powerful oppressors can be brought down by the power of truth and justice. The savannah flourished under Ginny's leadership. She ruled with compassion, fairness, and integrity. She prioritized the well, being of all the animals, ensuring that everyone had access to food, water, and shelter. She fostered a community of trust, respect, and cooperation. The animals lived in peace and harmony, free from the fear of manipulation and control. The story of Ginny and the lions became a legend, a cautionary tale about the dangers of power, the importance of resilience, and the transformative power of courage. It served as a reminder that even the most seemingly insignificant individuals can make a difference in the world. It taught the animals to be wary of those who seek to control them, to value their own worth, and to stand up for what is right. But the story doesn't end there. What happened to Scar, Leo, and Lyra? Did they ever learn from their mistakes? Did they ever find redemption? Scar, stripped of his power and his pride, wandered the savannah alone. He was a shadow of his former self, haunted by his past deeds. He tried to manipulate other animals, but no one trusted him anymore. He was an outcast, a pariah, a symbol of cruelty and oppression. One day, he stumbled upon a group of young lions. They were lost, hungry, and afraid. Scar, despite his own misery, felt a pang of sympathy for them. He remembered his own cubs, Leo and Lyra, and the love he had once felt for them. He decided to help the young lions, guiding them to safety and sharing his meager food with them. For the first time in his life, Scar acted out of kindness and compassion without any ulterior motive. He realized that true power lies not in control and manipulation, but in empathy and service. He regretted his past actions and wished he could undo the harm he had caused, but it was too late. His reputation was forever tarnished. He would never be able to fully atone for his sins. Leo and Lyra, ostracized and shunned, struggled to survive. They were forced to hunt for themselves, something they had never done before. They faced the harsh realities of the savannah, the dangers of predators, and the scarcity of resources. They realized that they had taken their privileged lives for granted. They had never appreciated the hard work and sacrifices of the other animals. They began to understand the consequences of their actions. They had hurt Ginny, betrayed their community, and destroyed their own lives. They felt remorseful and ashamed. They wanted to apologize to Ginny and the other animals, but they were too afraid of being rejected. One day, they saw Ginny walking through the savannah. She was surrounded by her friends and family, radiating happiness and confidence. Leo and Lyra hesitated, unsure whether to approach her. But then, Ginny noticed them. She looked at them with compassion, not anger or resentment. She walked towards them and asked them how they were doing. Leo and Lyra were surprised by her kindness. They confessed their remorse and apologized for their past actions. Ginny listened patiently, without interrupting or judging. When they were finished, she told them that she forgave them. She said that she understood that they had been influenced by their father. She encouraged them to learn from their mistakes and to use their experiences to help others. Leo and Lyra were deeply moved by Ginny's forgiveness. They vowed to change their ways and to dedicate their lives to making amends. They started by helping the other animals, offering their services and sharing their resources. They worked hard to earn back the trust of the community. Slowly but surely, they began to redeem themselves. The story of Scar, Leo, and Lyra is a reminder that even the most hardened hearts can be softened by compassion and forgiveness. It shows that redemption is possible, even for those who have committed terrible acts. It teaches us that we should never give up on hope, and that we should always strive to be better versions of ourselves. The savannah continued to thrive under Ginny's leadership. She fostered a culture of empathy, understanding, and forgiveness. She taught the animals to learn from their mistakes and to move forward with hope and optimism. The story of Ginny and the lions became a timeless tale, a testament to the power of resilience, the importance of forgiveness, and the transformative potential of the human spirit. Or, in this case, the animal spirit. But what if the story wasn't quite over? What if the seeds of manipulation, once sown, could sprout again in unexpected places? Years passed, and the savannah prospered under Ginny's wise and benevolent rule. The lions, Leo and Lyra, had indeed changed their ways, dedicating themselves to serving the community and earning back the trust they had so carelessly squandered. Scar, however, remained a cautionary tale, a whispered warning against the seductive allure of power and control. But as the memory of Scar's reign of terror began to fade, a new generation of animals emerged, unaware of the dark history that had shaped their savannah. Among them was a young hyena named. Was intelligent, charismatic, and ambitious. He possessed a natural talent for persuasion, and he quickly gained a following among the younger animals. He spoke of progress, of innovation, and of a new era of prosperity for the savannah. He promised to solve all their problems, to create a world where everyone had enough, and to make the savannah the envy of all the surrounding lands. The younger animals, eager for change and disillusioned with the status, flocked to Spanner. They believed in his vision, in his promises, and in his ability to deliver on his ambitious goals. But Ginny, wise and experienced, saw a darkness lurking beneath his charming facade. She recognized the familiar signs of manipulation, the subtle appeals to emotion, the empty promises, and the carefully crafted image of a benevolent leader. She tried to warn the younger animals, to share her knowledge of the past, and to caution them against blindly following. But they dismissed her concerns as the ramblings of an old giraffe, out of touch with the realities of the modern savanna. They accused her of being afraid of change, of clinging to the past, and of trying to stifle their progress. Meanwhile, skillfully undermined Ginny's authority. He spread rumors about her age, her health, and her ability to lead. He accused her of being corrupt, of being out of touch, and of being a puppet of the old guard. He painted himself as the champion of the people, the voice of the voiceless, and the only one who could truly understand their needs and aspirations. Slowly but surely gained control of the savanna. He appointed his loyal followers to positions of power, silencing dissent and consolidating his authority. He implemented policies that benefited himself and his inner circle, while exploiting the resources and labor of the other animals. He created a climate of fear and intimidation, where anyone who dared to question him was punished severely. Ginny watched in horror as the savanna descended into darkness once again. She felt helpless, powerless to stop the cycle of manipulation and control from repeating itself. But then, she remembered the lessons she had learned from her own past experiences. She remembered the importance of resilience, the power of truth, and the transformative potential of courage. She realized that she couldn't give up, that she had a responsibility to fight for the future of the savanna. She reached out to Leo and Lyra, the reformed lions, and asked for their help. They too had seen the darkness in his heart, and they were eager to atone for their past mistakes by helping Ginny expose his treachery. Together, Ginny, Leo, and Lyra devised a plan to awaken the younger animals to the truth about. They started by gathering evidence of his corruption, his lies, and his abuse of power. They documented his secret deals, his lavish spending, and his exploitation of the savanna's resources. They presented their evidence to a small group of trusted animals who were shocked and outraged by what they saw. These animals, in turn, spread the word to their friends and families, and soon the truth began to circulate throughout the savanna. The younger animals, initially skeptical, began to question his motives and his promises. They started to see the cracks in his carefully constructed facade, the inconsistencies in his stories, and the self-serving nature of his policies. They realized that they had been manipulated, that they had been used as pawns in his game of power. They felt betrayed, angry, and determined to take back control of their savanna. Led by Ginny, Leo, and Lyra, the animals organized a peaceful protest against his regime. They marched through the savanna, carrying signs and chanting slogans demanding his resignation. Panicked by the growing opposition, tried to suppress the protest. He sent his loyal followers to intimidate the protesters, to spread misinformation, and to sow discord among them. But the animals refused to be silenced. They stood their ground, united in their determination to reclaim their freedom and their future. Faced with overwhelming opposition, his regime crumbled. His loyal followers abandoned him, his support evaporated, and he was forced to resign from his position of power. The animals celebrated their victory, rejoicing in their newfound freedom and their ability to shape their own destiny. Ginny, once again, emerged as a hero, a symbol of hope and resilience in the face of oppression. She had proven that even the most cunning manipulators can be defeated by the power of truth, courage, and unity. The savanna entered a new era of peace, prosperity, and cooperation. The animals learned from their past mistakes. and they vowed to never again allow themselves to be manipulated by those who seek power and control. They established a system of checks and balances to ensure that no single individual or group could ever gain too much power. They promoted transparency, accountability, and open communication in all aspects of their governance. They fostered a culture of critical thinking, encouraging the animals to question authority, to challenge assumptions, and to always seek the truth. The story of Ginny and the lions, and now the story of, became a part of the savannah's collective memory, a reminder of the constant vigilance required to protect freedom and prevent the rise of tyranny. It taught the animals to be wary of charismatic leaders, to scrutinize their motives, and to always prioritize the well-being of the community over the ambitions of any individual. And so, the savannah thrived, a beacon of hope in a world often plagued by manipulation, control, and oppression. But the story serves as a constant reminder that the fight for freedom is never truly over, and that vigilance is the price of liberty. Consider the subtle ways manipulation can creep into our own lives. Are we truly free from its influence? The pursuit of control is a siren song, luring individuals into a treacherous landscape where the illusion of power reigns supreme. It whispers promises of dominance, of shaping the world and the people within it to one's own desires. But this pursuit is often rooted in a deep-seated insecurity, a fear of vulnerability that drives individuals to seek control as a shield against their own perceived weaknesses. They construct elaborate facades, weaving intricate webs of manipulation to ensnare those around them, believing that by controlling others, they can somehow control their own destinies. However, the irony lies in the fact that true power does not reside in the ability to manipulate or dominate. It resides in the strength of character, in the resilience of the human spirit, and in the unwavering commitment to one's own values and principles. Those who seek to control others are often the most easily controlled themselves, blinded by their own ambition and susceptible to the very tactics they employ. Their pursuit of power becomes their undoing, trapping them in a cycle of manipulation and deceit that ultimately leads to their own downfall. The story of those who sought to control and ultimately found themselves helpless is a cautionary tale, a reminder that the pursuit of power at the expense of integrity is a hollow and ultimately self-destructive endeavor. It is a story about the transformative power of resilience, about the ability to rise above adversity and emerge stronger and more determined than ever before. Imagine a person who has been subjected to the manipulative tactics of others, who has been gaslighted, undermined, and controlled. Initially, they may feel helpless, trapped in a web of deceit and unable to break free. They may question their own sanity, doubting their perceptions and losing faith in their own judgment. But as they begin to recognize the patterns of manipulation, as they start to see through the facade of control, a spark of defiance ignites within them. This spark is the beginning of their transformation. It is the moment when they realize that they are not powerless, that they have the strength to resist the forces that seek to control them. They begin to assert their own boundaries, to challenge the lies and manipulations, and to reclaim their own agency. This process is not easy. It requires courage, resilience, and a willingness to confront the uncomfortable truths about themselves and the people around them. There will be setbacks, moments of doubt, and times when it feels easier to simply give in. But with each act of resistance, with each step towards reclaiming their own power, they grow stronger and more confident. As they transform, they begin to see the world through new eyes. They recognize the manipulative tactics that were once used against them, and they become immune to their influence. They develop a keen sense of discernment, able to distinguish between genuine connection and manipulative intent. And as they reclaim their own power, they begin to attract a different kind of people into their lives. They surround themselves with individuals who are supportive, respectful, and genuinely invested in their well-being. They create a network of authentic connections that nourish their soul and empower them to continue on their path of growth and self-discovery. The story of their transformation is not just about overcoming adversity. It is about embracing their own potential and living a life of purpose and authenticity. It is about recognizing that true power comes not from controlling others, but from mastering oneself. This transformation is not a one-time event. It is an ongoing process of growth and self-discovery. There will be challenges along the way, moments when they are tested and tempted to revert to old patterns of behavior. But with each challenge, they have the opportunity to learn, to grow, and to deepen their commitment to living a life of authenticity and integrity. And as they continue on their journey, they become an inspiration to others. They show that it is possible to break free from the chains of manipulation and control, to reclaim one's own power, and to live a life of purpose and fulfillment. Their story is a testament to the resilience of the human spirit, a reminder that even in the face of adversity, we have the power to choose our own destiny. It is a story that resonates with anyone who has ever felt trapped, manipulated, or controlled, offering hope and inspiration for a brighter future. The journey from victim to victor is not always linear, and it is often fraught with challenges and setbacks. There will be times when the old patterns of behavior resurface, when the manipulative tactics of others seem overwhelming, and when the temptation to give up feels almost irresistible. But it is during these moments that the true strength of the individual is revealed. It is in the ability to persevere through adversity, to learn from mistakes, and to continue moving forward despite the obstacles in their path that the individual demonstrates their unwavering commitment to their own growth and self-discovery. And as they continue on their journey, they will encounter others who are on a similar path. They will find solace and support in the shared experiences of those who have also overcome adversity and reclaimed their own power. Together, they will create a community of resilience, a network of individuals who are committed to empowering one another and creating a world where everyone has the opportunity to live a life of authenticity and purpose. The story of their transformation is not just about individual empowerment, it is about collective liberation. It is about creating a world where manipulation and control are no longer tolerated, where everyone is treated with respect and dignity, and where the potential of the human spirit can flourish. And as they continue to inspire others, they will leave a lasting legacy of hope and empowerment. They will show that it is possible to break free from the chains of the past, to create a better future, and to live a life that is truly meaningful and fulfilling. The pursuit of control is a futile endeavor, a misguided attempt to impose order on a world that is inherently chaotic and unpredictable. True power lies not in the ability to control others, but in the ability to control oneself. It lies in the ability to cultivate inner peace, to embrace vulnerability, and to live in harmony with the world around us. And as we learn to let go of the need for control, we open ourselves up to a world of possibilities. We discover the joy of spontaneity, the beauty of imperfection, and the power of authentic connection. We realize that true freedom comes not from dominating others, but from liberating ourselves. It comes from embracing our own unique potential, living a life of purpose and authenticity, and contributing to the well-being of the world around us. So let us abandon the pursuit of control and embrace the path of self-discovery. Let us cultivate inner peace, embrace vulnerability, and live in harmony with the world around us. Let us become beacons of hope and empowerment, inspiring others to break free from the chains of the past and create a brighter future for themselves and for generations to come. Let us remember that true power lies not in controlling others, but in mastering oneself.